Okay, let me give you guys another example. So here, find the limit of this. And if you look at the graph, it will look something like this. So find the limit of this as x approaches 0. So that means here, x approaches 0 from the left-hand side, x approaches 0 from the right-hand side. So the limit is somewhere here. Where is this? Somewhere here. Okay. So find, if you try and simply use the theorem that I told you in the previous video, you can you can break, rather than finding out the limit of this whole thing here, you can find out the limit of this, and then you can also find out the limit, or well, you can break into the square root. But if you do that, you will get this. Hang on, you would get this. So finding out the limit of this, you could just break into the square root here and just try and find out the limit of this as x approaches 0. So if you try and do that, this thing here, so what we've done here is breaking into this square root here. So find out the limit of this. Well, if you do that, then you will get, well, this thing here will be 0. 0 plus 4 will be 4. And then so the limit of this thing here will be 4. Now square root the 4, that will give you 2. So 2 take away 2 is 2, is 0. And then this thing here will be 0. So you've got 0 over 0. So you can't really deduce much from it. There's something cunning that you have to do to find out the limit of this. Normally we can just break into this and just find out the limit of this bubble here. But here you've got to do something cunning, because at the moment, if you just break into here, you will get 0 over 0. So you've got to find another method of doing it. And with these limits, there are lots of ways. You could factorize. You could divide top and bottom by x squared, and there are lots of ways. So you just have to play around with this one here. Well, before I show you, let me show you this. When you have this, and then you times by this, by the minus what's called the conjugate of this. If you start out with this here, and then you multiply by x minus a, so you've got a plus here and then the minus here. Well, when you do this, it actually becomes really neat. Hang on. So here, this times this here will give you x squared, and then this times this will give you minus ax, and then this times this here will give you positive ax, and then this times this will give you minus a squared. You see, these two terms, they will cancel each other out. Minus ax plus ax, they will cancel each other out, just leaving you x squared minus a squared. Okay, so look at this here. This is like this is like our bracket here, and then this here is our x, and this here is our a. Now, if you multiply by the conjugate of this here, it will become nice and neat. So hang on. So here, hang on. Let me. So visualize this at the moment. Visualize it as this. So you've got one thing here taking away another thing here. Now times top and bottom by the conjugate of that. So it will be that whole block there, but this time plus 2. And then later on you will get this times this block, this times this block, and then later on this times this block, and then this times 2 here. You see the two, I will show you. So here we are going to multiply by, so here you've got this thing here. Okay, so this is our block here, and then this is our block here. So really we are multiplying top and bottom by the conjugate of this here. Okay, so here notice that this is a minus, this is a plus. Now when you do that, it then becomes nice and neat later on. Okay, so now so we've got this bubble here multiplying this bubble here. So it's basically this thing here, that's this bubble here, multiplying this thing here, that's this bubble here. Okay, and then the bottom times with the bottom here. That's why you got x squared here, that's this one here, and then this here is this here. Okay, so basically we've got this times this, and then this times this. That will then give us this. Okay, hang on. That will then give us this. Now do this. So here you've got one block, and then you've got the conjugate is, well, it's going to be this, and then this times this here would be uh, hang on, let me think. Okay, yeah, sorry. This times this here would give you a nice, neat thing, because hang on, because at the moment you've got square root of something, and then you times by the square root of that exact same thing. So it's just like me giving you this here, square root of x, and then you times the square root of x. That's like square root of x squared. But well, the point is this thing here, well, it will become x. Okay, so here, hang on. So here, this thing times this thing here, that will give you a nice, well, the square root will go, so we'll give you this bubble here. Okay, and now this times this here, so you've got this block times this thing here. So it's this thing times the 2. So that 2 there is this 2 here. Okay, and then now it's this times this. So you've got minus 2 times this block here. So you've got minus 2 here times this block here. Don't forget it's a minus. That's why you've got this minus here. Now it's minus 2 times 2. So that will give you minus 4. Okay, the bottom part is nice and straightforward. It's just the same thing. Okay, now look at this. So at the moment you've got negative this thing here, sorry, positive this thing here, and then take away this thing here. These two blocks, they're actually the same here. Okay, you've got a block here times a block here. These two are exactly the same, so they kill off each other, leaving you just this bubble here. That's this bit here. Take away 4. Take away 4. Okay, and then the bottom stays the same. This whole thing here stays the same. Okay, and then hang on, and then tidy this up. So here you've got plus 4 minus 4. They're going to kill off each other, giving you leaving you x squared. And now divide top and bottom here by x squared. Okay, so this x squared divided by x squared, that will be 1. Okay, and then this whole thing here divided by this thing, because these two are the same, they kill off each other, leaving you just what's in the bubble. So what's in the bubble is this thing here. Okay, because what's in the bubble is this thing, and then the 2 is this 2 here. Okay, so here, so here what we've done is divide top and bottom by x squared. Okay, so we are here, and now you can break into put the limit, break into the square root here. So we couldn't do it earlier because it gave us 0 over 0, but the trick that we use, timesing top and bottom by the conjugate, it makes things a lot. It allows us to just jump in. It allows us just to jump into this thing here. Okay, so this thing here would be this. So find out the limit of this, and whatever the answer is, square root the answer, square root the limit. So here, basically break into this square root here. So it would be this. As x tends to 0, this whole thing here would just be 4. Okay, so it would just be 4. So it'd be 1 over root 4 plus 2. Well, root 4 is 2. This thing here, the square root of 4 is just 2. Now 2 plus 2 is 4. So after all that, the limit is 1 over 4. Okay, so the limit of this thing here, the limit of this is actually 1 over 4. Okay, so the trick here is really visualize it like this, and then times top and bottom by the conjugate of that. So it will be the same thing here, root x squared plus 4, but this time plus 2. And this here is just a trick that we use to, it's just a trick here. So now the thing is, when you get this times this here, things will tidy itself up here. It becomes nice and neat. So the trick here is really timesing top and bottom by the conjugate of this thing here. Okay. Well, anyway, the answer here is 1 over 4.